I've always been a fan of Subarus, with my favorites being the fire-breathing WRX STI and the Subaru Legacy. And I find it quite ironic that I don't have a single Subaru car review in my channel, a fact that we're about to change right now. So what better way to break the ice on my first Subaru car review than to feature the latest flagship SUV from the marquee, the Subaru Evoltis Touring. The Subaru Evoltis is known as the Ascent in the North American market, and in this video, we take a tour of the Subaru Ascent, Evoltis, and then we take it out for a drive to savor that sweet boxer engine and that all-wheel drive combo. Let's do this. Hello guys, I'm Reagan and welcome back to another car review. If you're new to my channel, I hope you click that subscribe button and become part of the Reagan Rides family. If you're my subscriber already, thank you so much for watching this video and for your support. I hope you hit that like button. I truly appreciate it, guys. Also, special thanks to the guys at Subaru Green Hills for giving us this opportunity to feature the Subaru Evoltis. If you have a need for any Subaru, head on down here to Subaru Green Hills and check them out. Or if you have any inquiries, you may contact the person in my pinned comment below. Subaru has officially entered the 7-seater mid-size SUV category with this hulking giant, the Subaru Evoltis Touring. Born in Indiana, USA, it was originally meant for the North American market only, but apparently the local clamor for a premium 7-seater SUV from Subaru is strong enough because we have this beast right here in the flesh. So exactly how much will this Evoltis cost you? Well, the retail for one of these is 3,480,000 Philippine pesos, which puts it at the same price segment as other premium 7-seater SUVs like the Toyota Landcruiser Prado, the Hyundai Palisade, and the Kia Telluride. Oh wait, hold on. We still don't get the Kia Telluride as of this filming. But anyway, what exactly do you get for that amount of money with your Subaru Evoltis Touring? That's exactly what we aim to find out. Right off the bat, when you look at the front fascia of this Evoltis Touring, you can see that it is unmistakably a Subaru. We get the same hexagonal front grille here, which is the largest hexagonal front grille in the lineup. And in fact, when you look at it, it kind of reminds me of a supersized Subaru Outback. But of course, we get a larger hexagonal front grille, as I mentioned, and we also have a wider, more squared-off stance than the one found in the Outback. Now, the top-spec Evoltis Touring that we have here also has adaptive LED headlights here and also LED DRLs that wrap around the headlights. We also get LED fog lights here at the front bumper, but when you look at the front bumper, you'll see that it doesn't really get the aggressive body cladding that can be found in the Subaru Outback. Rather, the Evoltis goes for the more premium touch because we have here a chrome strip at the sides of the front bumper, and we also have a textured finish for the body cladding, which gives it a more premium look. Now overall, when you look at the front fascia of the Evoltis, it's kinda on the tame side, a little bit sedate, because well, it's quite expected because Subaru was never really known to deviate from the tried and true designs that they've honed through the decades. It reminds me of another car company that uses boxer engines, Porsches. Now, when you look at the side profile of the Subaru Evoltis, you'd get a feel of how truly massive this vehicle is, at least for a Subaru. Well, it's wearing 20-inch shoes, but if you look at those wheels against the body of the Evoltis, they look a little bit on the small side. A set of 22s wouldn't even get lost inside that large wheel well. Now, since the Subaru Evoltis is a premium SUV, of course you get some premium bits and pieces here and there. The side mirrors are power folding and we get LED turn signals here, and the side mirror housing is also a gorgeous matte aluminum finish. Now when you look at the roof, we get a supersized and erect roof rail here, These are what I call the "so happy to see me" roof rails. And these rails are meant for the more adventurous Subaru Evoltis owners out there. Now, to break off the monotony of the body panels here on the side, because it is such a large vehicle, we get some body lines here and some creases, and also some hunches over the wheel wells for a more muscular look. We also get a chrome strip here at the bottom part, which is pretty standard already for these premium SUVs. Now, I mentioned that the wheels are 20-inch in size, and they're wrapped in 245/50 R20 tires. Behind those wheels, we get four-wheel ventilated disc brakes, as expected from a car company that puts a premium on performance. Now, the suspension bits are also well on the premium side, because we get a MacPherson setup in the front and a double wishbone at the rear. Now, the ground clearance is also a healthy 220 millimeters, which, when you couple it with its all-wheel drive system, is perfect for some light off-roading. Now, when you look at the rear end of the Subaru Evoltis, you'll see that it carries on with the same design theme that can be found in other Subaru SUVs or crossovers out there. Now, the Evoltis gets LED taillights here, but the design of the taillight housing is a bit on the subdued side, even a little bit on the mature side. Now, we do get a chrome center strip here in the middle, which adds a bit more of a premium feeling to the Evoltis. But if you take your eyes down further to the rear bumper, you'll see that it is chock full of body cladding, which gives it more of that rugged feels now. Now, take your eyes further down from the rear bumper, and you'll see that you have dual exhaust pipes, which gives the Evoltis more of a sporty feeling. Now, if you look at it all together, you get that mature feels for the taillights, you got the premium feels for your center chrome strip here, rugged feels for your rear bumper, and sporty feels for your dual exhaust. But despite that, if you put it all together, the Evoltis rear end looks a little bland, a bit uninspired even. I mean, I would have appreciated it if Subaru exerted a bit more design effort when it comes to designing the rear end of the Subaru Evoltis, because you guys all know how I love looking at rear ends. Now, anyway, when we pop open the power liftgate here, you'll see that the Evoltis has a nice and wide opening here, means that you could easily load wide and large stuff into your SUV. Now, as you can see, my medium-sized luggage is already there, because I wanted to show you that even if the Evoltis is a 7-seater and we have the third row seats in use, this medium-sized luggage could easily fit behind in the trunk space behind those third row seats. We get 498 liters of cargo capacity here, and at first when I saw it, I was thinking, how could this be 498 liters? It looks kind of small. But then I did an inspection of the floorboard, and as you can see, we've got more space under the floorboard of your trunk. In fact, the tonneau cover of the Evoltis is neatly tucked away here underneath the floorboard. So that gives you 498 liters, which is only smaller than the trunk space of behind the third row of a Ford Explorer and the Hyundai Palisade. So that is saying a lot about the cargo capacity of the Subaru Evoltis. However, if 498 liters is not enough for you, you could easily fold the third row seat backs, and it folds flat, thus giving you 1,345 liters of cargo capacity. Now, this is my medium-sized luggage, and as you can see, that is a lot of space, guys. You could easily fit like 4 or 5 medium-sized luggage here at the back, as long as you fold the third row seat backs down. Now, if you're transporting furniture, then you can also tumble down and fold down the second row captain seats there, which will now give you over 2,400 liters of cargo capacity. Now, that is a lot of space for a mid-size SUV. The Subaru Evoltis may be a premium SUV, but it still comes with a manual prop rod. I mean, how uncool is that? This thing should have gas struts already, which should help you lift that hood up. But in fairness to Subaru, the hood itself is quite light. In fact, when I first lifted it, I even thought that it's carbon fiber, because it is truly that light. But for a premium SUV, well, should not get manual prop rod like that. Anyway, now having said it, guys, the engine that we have here is a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged boxer engine that can put out 256 horses and 375 Newton meters of torque. Now that is a pretty potent engine and pretty similar to other Subaru engines. We've got the intercooler mounted on top of the engine block, and we have here like a scoop or a duct that channels cold air into your intercooler. However, since the Evoltis is a premium SUV, it doesn't have that ghastly hood scoop that could be seen in like older Subarus. Instead, they were able to integrate the air ducts here under the hood, giving it a cleaner look. Now, the Evoltis is of course equipped with Subaru's famous symmetrical all-wheel drive system, and that sends power to all four wheels. However, when it comes to the transmission, well, the Evoltis lean more towards the refinement and fuel economy side because we get a CVT transmission here, but it does have 8 simulated gears. Now, despite the CVT, guys, the good thing there is the all-wheel drive system plus that potent motor means that the Evoltis Touring has a maximum towing capacity of 5,000 pounds, which is pretty decent for a mid-size SUV. The cockpit area of the Subaru Evoltis comes with so much features and safety bits that I'd probably need to take more Memo Plus Gold just to be able to memorize all of these stuff. Now, first up, guys, the seats. Of course, being a premium SUV offering, the seats of the Evoltis are wrapped in leather, and we've got some gorgeous perforations here at the sides and some contrast stitching here. And these seats are also power adjustable for both the driver and the passenger, and we also get heating and ventilation features for the front seats. Now, that is actually pretty good. Now, to make things better, the driver's seat also comes with thigh support adjustments, which is great for taller drivers because they've got longer legs, so they need more support for their thighs. But to be honest, guys, at 5'6", I don't think I need that, right? I'm not gonna use that, but at least it's there. All right. Now, when you go to the steering wheel, you'll see that this steering wheel of the Evoltis needs its own spec sheet because it has chock full of features, guys. Now, we have leather here, and this leather that's used is really good quality leather, and we've got some gorgeous contrast white stitching here on your steering wheel. Now, we also have a heated function for the steering wheel, something that I don't think we'd be using here in the Philippines, but it's nice to have that here in the Evoltis Touring. As I mentioned, this is a North American model, so yeah, they also get that heated steering function. Now, we also have buttons here for hands-free connectivity to the infotainment system, and we also have cruise control settings here and some buttons for your eyesight safety suite or the eyesight technology of Subaru. Now, the Evoltis Touring is equipped with that eyesight safety tech, and it has so many safety bits. I'm just going to list them all down here. Is it here? Here? I think it's here. All right. And while you're reading that, I'm going to babble more about that eyesight safety tech. You see, it's just a bunch of cameras that is constantly monitoring stuff around your car, making sure that it will activate some preventive safety maneuvers and features in case of an impending crash. Now, how they do that, they have a lot of cameras around this Evoltis. We've got a couple of them right here on top of the windshield, which monitors the front area of the car. So maybe I could stop babbling now because you've already probably finished reading all the safety bits of the Subaru Evoltis. Now, of course, behind the wheel, we have a couple of paddle shifters here because no self-respecting Subaru vehicle will come without paddle shifters, even if it's just a CVT transmission. Still, it's good to have paddle shifters there. And yeah, I also love that it also has eyesight technology because, well, safety is always top priority whenever you're driving a family vehicle. Now, when you look at the instrument gauge cluster of the Evoltis, you get a typical Subaru gauge cluster layout. We have an analog tachometer and an analog speedo, and we have a colored multi-information display in the center that shows you some of your vehicle's information. Now, typical of any Subaru, we also have a second multi-information display mounted right on the top of the dashboard here in the center, and it shows you more vehicle information for your Subaru Evoltis. Now from there, when you go down to your infotainment system, you have here an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is always great news when it comes to, well, infotainment systems. The thing is, the Evoltis also has a 13-speaker Harman Kardon speaker setup. And it also comes with an amplifier. So that would please a lot of audiophiles out there when they're driving or riding the Subaru Evoltis. However, we don't get a 360-degree view camera here, which is a bit weird, especially for the price that we're paying. Rather, we get a front camera image that can be seen on the multi-information display here on the dashboard, and we have a reverse camera when you're reversing that comes out here on your infotainment system screen. So we only have a front camera and a rear camera. We don't have side cameras. So that's not 360. That's 180. Can I call it 180? 180-degree camera? No? Okay then. So it's a front and rear camera system. So that's the only thing that the Evoltis comes with. The good thing though is when you go to the climate control system here, we've got a triple zone climate control system, and typical of any Subaru, the layout of the controls of the climate control is in a triple rotary knob setup here. This is sticking with the tradition of Subarus of old. Now we have here a cubby that feels and looks like a wireless charging pad, but it's not. It's just a regular cubby. There is a 12-volt outlet there, hidden there inside. But yeah, the fact that we're paying premium levels of price for the Subaru Evoltis, yet we don't get a wireless charging pad, that's a bit of a bummer for me. However, if you do need to charge gadgets, you do have a couple of USB ports here, and of course that 12-volt outlet that I mentioned. Now we also have an electronic parking brake here, and we also have an X mode button, which is a Subaru speak for more performance in slippery conditions. You see, this is an all-wheel drive system, but in case that the surfaces of the roads are slippery, like if you're going on ice or snow and stuff like that, you could engage X mode, which optimizes the traction, the engine, the transmission to help the car move through these slippery surfaces. The X mode feature though only activates at speeds below 30 kilometers per hour, but that is really good, especially when it comes to safety if you're driving in areas where there's a lot of snow and ice, which we don't have here. But we do have floods, so that would also be quite useful, guys. Now we also have here a couple of cup holders, which we will subject to our clean canteen test. I have my clean canteen here. Now the Evoltis is a North American model. It's the Subaru Ascent. I'm pretty sure this is gonna pass easily. See, it passes my clean canteen test. Now because this is a North American vehicle, it's also a champion when it comes to cup holders. In fact, the Evoltis has more cup holders than it has speakers. Yeah, we have 13 speakers here, but we've got 19, I repeat, 19 cup holders in a 7-seater car. I mean, even if there are 2 drinks for all 7 passengers of the Evoltis, that's still 5 more cup holders that won't be put to use. I mean, it's simply overkill, guys. But you know what they say, it's better to have more than what you need than to have less. Did they say that? I have no idea. Anyway, it does sound good though. Now we have a leather wrap center armrest here, and there is a cubby, a large cubby here, which is something that you'd expect from a car that's meant for the North American market. And when you take your eyes up, you also see that the Subaru Evoltis comes with a humongous panoramic sunroof there, and that adds to that premium feeling inside the cabin. Of course, the panoramic sunroof can be operated from here, buttons here, but we also have some buttons here which disengages like lane departure warning and other safety stuff like that. You see, there's just so much safety bits found here inside the Subaru Evoltis that they ran out of space where they can put buttons in, that they just had to put it up there on the ceiling. Now, the good thing here is when you look at the entire cockpit area, you know that the Subaru Evoltis is really meant for the North American market. Because we've got a lot of premium soft touch materials here. We've got some gorgeous leather wrapped door cards here. We've got some nice dark brown wood panels on the door cards, on your center tunnel. We've got some nicely padded areas here where your knee would bump. So, and we also have this soft creamy white leather here on the middle dashboard, and it has some nice stitching. You know, this is really gorgeous. It has a bit of a mature vibe to it, but a mature vibe in a good way. It feels like you're inside a premium luxury SUV. And you are, because this is a premium luxury SUV.